This morning, the special prosecutor who indicted President-elect Donald Trump over his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election says he has enough evidence to convict him and believes he would have had Mr. Trump not won re-election. Justice Department guidelines prohibit the prosecution of a sitting president, forcing the special counsel to close his case. But in a report released just after midnight last night, Jack Smith says his office determined that the evidence was enough to obtain and sustain a conviction at trial. Mr. Trump had been trying to block the report's release, but a federal judge that Trump himself appointed during his first term made the final decision to make the report public.